In this video, I'm going to be covering question 1, part D from the 2019 AP Calculus AB free response calculator required portion of the test. I cover A, B, C, and D all in their own separate videos, so if you want to see those solutions, feel free to check out my other videos. Looking at part D here, they're asking us, is the rate of change in the number of fish in the lake increasing or decreasing at this specific time at t equals 5? Whenever we see terms like increasing and decreasing right here, this is really first derivative information. Remember that when our first derivative is positive, that tells us that we have an increase happening. If our first derivative is negative, then that tells us that we've got a decrease occurring. And so what we need to do is figure out what is our total rate of change equation so that we can find the derivative and then see if it's increasing or decreasing at this specific time. We did that in a previous video. The rate of change, the total amount, I would just call it A, is going to equal our E of t amount. That's our rate of change minus our L of t, the amount leaving rate of change. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to determine, is that an increase or a decrease? Well, let's go ahead and see what that would mean. What that would mean is we need to find this derivative, so A prime of t, and that would equal E prime of t minus L prime of t. And then specifically, we need to know what's happening at 5. So we want to know what's happening at A prime of 5. So we want E prime of 5 minus L prime of 5. Well, the beautiful thing for us is we can do all of this in our calculator. So what we would do is we set up that original equation. So we would do E of t, which is the amount entering equation. That's our rate of change. Know that they're talking about the rate here, and that's what we're trying to figure out if it's increasing or decreasing. So 20 plus 15 sine of pi t over 6 minus, and when you subtract something, remember it's minus, and then the whole equation needs to be in parentheses because you're subtracting that full equation. So we subtract our rate equation for how many are leaving. So we're going to subtract 4 plus 2 to the 0.1 t squared. When we do this, we need to find out what the derivative value is at 5. And conveniently, we can do that in our calculator. So in y1, we're going to put our full equation here for our how much the total amount's rate of change. So then minus parentheses 4 plus 2 to the 0.1 t squared. Then from there, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and graph that. And then we want to know what the derivative value of that is. So we want to do a second calc. And inside our calc menu, we'll choose the number 6 option, which is dy dx. And then from there, it wants to know when we care about that. And we'll type in our value of 5. We'll hit enter, and at the bottom of the screen, we'll get dy dx equals. And we don't really care about the number, remember, that comes out of there. All we're really going to be concerned with is that number positive or negative? So let's go ahead and open up our calculator. We go to our y equals, which conveniently, again, this is why it's nice to do things in the y equals area, because when you do it there, then you're not going to, kind of your default in the normal home screen usually when you're using the calculator is to clear things out. And when you go to your graph, you generally don't do that. So here we have the equation in here already. We've got y1 equals and that full equation. So step 1's complete. We hit the graph button, and if you did it the way I was doing part C, you should it'll look all shaded already for you, but we don't really care if it's shaded or not. From there, we'll do step 3, which says hit second. We'll choose the calc menu, the button above trace at the very top, and we want to know what is happening, what's our rate of change of the rate of change, our dy dx, so we hit enter on number 6, and then we type in the x value that we care about. So we type in x equals 5. We hit enter, and at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that it says dy dx equals negative 10.722. And again, we don't care about the actual number. We just care that this is negative. And because it's negative, that tells us that the rate of change of the number of fish is decreasing. So Positive derivatives mean increasing, negative derivatives mean decreasing, and from there we get out our final answer, which isn't too bad. So what we would have to do on this problem to earn our points, you would have earned 1 point for setting up the idea that the derivative at 5 is equal to that equation there, and then you would have gotten a second point for getting out your final conclusion that it's decreasing using that value there. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.